Before I came to an IRLI conference, I had been in a deep state of depression for a few years and was unable to sleep. I had been on various medications prescribed in order to help with the depression and the sleep, but all of them had many side effects and they just seemed to make me anxious. After one episode of stopping one med only to try another, I went through a bipolar episode that had my family so concerned they had me hospitalized. There were times throughout the week going to work, I would wonder, how in the world did I manage to get ready this morning? How did I get dressed and even get here? Much less, how am I functioning through the day and keeping my job? During this time, in my pain and suffering, I did call out to the Lord, and He did answer me in many different ways. He had brought a woman into my life that opened up her home for me for Bible study and fellowship. And also once I was at Tri-County Mall, and a couple had noticed me in my depressed state, and they had compassion on me. They told me about the conference and how God could use it for His goodness, bring His goodness into my life. They were so convincing and so kind that I decided to give it a try. During my first conference, I had experienced, remember feeling just a little bit better at the end of each day. Being able to look at the day before and realizing today has been a little bit better. But the last day of the conference, during my time of personal ministry, I felt like the weight of the world was taken off my shoulders. The woman that had ministered to me had similar life experiences. She understood me and knew what areas of my life needed to be addressed. This gave me hope. During the conference week, I'd learned to give myself grace, and I realized that God had purpose and a plan for me, and He was developing this plan and taking me through it, one day at a time, one step at a time. I learned to trust in Him and just wait for His goodness to continue in my life, for Him to continue doing the good work He had started. I've been touched and even healed through the RLI conference and teachings, first by experiencing unconditional love from the RLI team, by not being as dressed as someone that had something that needed to be fixed or a disease that needed to be healed. No one looked at me as, oh, you poor thing. They saw me as someone lovely, and certainly that I had something good to offer in my life, and they wanted to get to know me. But regarding my health and mental state, I've been set free from depression and not being able to sleep. I've been set free from confusion and all medication. I no longer strive or live in perfectionism. My life is full of joy, and even though I find myself in turmoil from time to time, I have learned to be content and at peace and wait on the Lord to either show me the way through my circumstances or to just trust in Him in the middle of them, knowing this too will pass. I had attended more than one conference and root group because I had a lot of wrongful thinking that needed to be straightened out. I needed to receive healing for all of the hurt brought on to me through life. I needed to learn just how beautiful and loved I was by God, that life is a process, and even in the midst of my pain and suffering, God has good for us, and He can't wait for us to see it and experience Him as He leads us through it to something better. I was also able to see that and want it so much more. You know, my family and friends no longer look at me like, what can we expect from Ann today? And they're no longer fearful for me. When we get together, we're able to enjoy each other and ourselves. I would tell someone who is thinking about attending an RLI conference that it's a great way to receive healing for a hurting heart, and a great way to have your eyes open to things that you don't realize you don't see, and a way to get some questions answered, why things are the way they are. It's a great way to see how much God loves you and wants to draw you closer to Him. You'll learn how to worship God, not just through song, but in wisdom and in truth. You'll learn how to pray and how to walk with the Lord in truth through His Word. What makes RLI unique is that they don't push people into the ministry. They wait for people to decide that they're ready for it and just how much they are ready for. They know to wait on God's perfect timing to accomplish the purposes and plans that He has for you. They don't look at you as a problem to be solved, but as a person to be loved, honored, and respected. Yes, even cherished. And they know and understand that life's a journey because they've lived what they teach. They seek God in everything, and they live in grace and peace and unity with one another. They know and understand the power of prayer, but they live expectantly knowing what a great and powerful God we serve.